British artist David Hockney is best known for his pop art paintings of suburban swimming pools, but most recently, his work had featured vibrant colors of loose brushstrokes as he paints the landscapes of his native country, England. Start looking for whimsical lines and the illusion of space, which make this scratch art lesson a fabulous one. Let's get started. In this project, when you begin your drawing, start off with the horizon line, the line that separates sky from ground, leaving it at the top. Plenty of room then to start drawing in your landscape. Start thinking about your background, middle ground, and foreground, and divide up the space into some chunks. That winding road really does a nice job showing movement. I grabbed some tempera cakes that I could start off by painting on my first layer of paint for the project. I started off with tempera cakes because it dries relatively quickly. You'll notice that I'm using the same color multiple times before switching to a new color. I started out with some light colors. The choice is up to you. Paint the whole background part of your landscape. All of the ground will get painted with these tempera cakes. Because it is a fast drying paint, that is great. We'll grab some tempera cakes to add in for the sky. You'll notice I started with some blues, some purples, and some whites to create my textured sky. Now I'll move into the ground. You'll notice that I started painting on some green. Using the end of my paintbrush, I'm scratching away the green to reveal the red underneath. I'm starting with some blue on top of my red and scratching on a wavy line. With my purple on top of my yellow, I'm making some leaf lines. These textures provide lots of interest into this landscape. Some circles might make interesting patterns. You might also notice that I'm always using a different color of paint on top of the first layer of paint. So again, my first layer is tempera cakes because it dries relatively quickly. My second layer is tempera paint. It dries a little bit slower, but it also allows you to provide lots of textures into your paint. I'm thinking a lot about contrast, different colors of paint on top of that first layer so that it really stands out, the contrasting colors from the first layer onto my second layer of paint. I just love the different textures for variety as well as interest visually into this painting. There, once I've completed the background space, I'm going to go ahead and pick a color that I haven't used into my landscape so far. A neutral color might work well for you if you haven't used a lot of neutrals yet. I chose black just because it was a color I haven't used yet into my landscape and it would really stand out. You might choose a gray, or leave it white or paint it white, or possibly a brown. A neutral color might stand out nicely if you haven't used any of those neutral colors into your landscape so far. Because I used white already, I didn't really want to use any more white. I wanted that winding, moving road to really draw your eye back into the landscape. Let's take a moment to set that aside and let that dry. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry a little bit and get ready for some oil pastels. I went ahead and I grabbed some oil pastels just to add a little bit more visual interest to my project. If you want to add in some landscape items, some trees, or some houses or barns or animals, now would be a good time to do that. I'm also using my black oil pastel to divide up a little bit more, showing contrast between each of those sections of the land. Thanks for watching. Happy art making.